Dragon's Dogma 2 came out, and this is why I wait to buy a game for the day one release of it, because of things that just happen to go on. This is why we do not pre-order games in this world, because what you get usually turns out to be absolutely a train wreck after the fact. Now, before I fully get into this, do me a favor, subscribe to the channel. I can't emphasize this enough. If you've been back to the channel a few times, subscribe to this channel. I cover a lot of gaming topics, and I have been covering things like this in particular. Dragon's Dogma 2 is a single-player, narrative-driven action RPG that challenges the players to choose their own experience from the appearance of the Arisen, their vocation, their party, how to approach different situations, and more. In a truly immersive fantasy world. This could have been the game that took down the title for Game of the Year, like we had Baldur's Gate 3 last year. But instead, Capcom went full greediness on this game. They've added Dogma, which is a known DRM, which is a type of program that gets added into the background. It's an overlay program to stop the game from being pirated. Now, if you have a problem with piracy, I think part of it is your cost is too high. The game doesn't play to anything that people want in particular, and we're probably going to see people crack Dogma on this game, I would guess in about a week, maybe two. It usually doesn't take long, and then down the line we'll have to wait to see if Capcom does remove it. This is the type of program that can easily be removed from these games. They just add them in there so they don't get copied. But that's not the biggest driving point on it. From frame rate problems to everything else, the negative reviews are speaking immensely at this point. It comes down to this little list of DLCs is what they're calling it. They're calling each one of these a DLC. If you go into one, say the Wakestone A or something like that, we're going to close that. You scroll down here and they say this DLC may not be appropriate for all ages, yada, yada, yada. So they're saying it's a DLC. It's not a DLC, it's a microtransaction. If you wish to be able to resurrect your character in-game or resurrect other characters in-game, you need what's called a Wakestone. And you can find shards, apparently, in the game, all and around everywhere else in the game. You collect 3 of them, then you get a Wakestone and do things like that. Apparently, I was reading on one article, if you kill this big dragon, or one of the big dragons, one of the big bosses, they're supposed to drop like 20 of these or something like that. But I'm also hearing terms that this is an easily manipulated value, where at the initial launch it can be plentiful, and as we go along they become scalable and much less able to find when they need to just switch this off and force you down the route of buying these microtransactions to continue your quest. It's an absolute shit version of a microtransaction, one of the worst that you can have out there. You know, when it comes to cosmetics, when it comes to things like that, that's fine. But when you're playing a single player game and you now need to pay to win at that single player game, it becomes a little bit more. This game for me, for a Canadian like myself, is expensive. $94.99 already for this game. $95 for me to even want to play this game. I wanted to play this game, but after seeing the reviews, after seeing this launch, after seeing this greedy, scummy version of microtransactions that they're putting into the game, into a single player game, just so your benefit to the game can be a little bit shorter. What these microtransactions do ultimately is shorten your time, but when it comes to trying to resurrect, when it comes to, what is the other one? You need to pay one of these to change your character. Here it is, Art of Metamorphosis, Character Editor. So you need, if you want to change your character in a single player game, then you need to buy this. Apparently this is, you can also obtain this in-game. I don't know what you can do, but once again, they call this a DLC. So them calling this a DLC would mean you can't get this in game easily. It's not something that you can easily do. This is a microtransaction, but they're trying to list this as a DLC, and it's not. It's not. After purchase, the content will appear in your in-game storage after staying in it in. So how are they doing this in particular? Well, the character creation and the game takes place on their servers for a single-player game. This is absolutely this is where the gaming world is gone, the industry, where Capcom has now rented all the server space just to milk money out of everyone else for this game. It's absolutely abysmal to hear these things. Mostly negative. Let's look at these. Absolute crap. You, Capcom, spent 5 hours on character creation, and turns out I missed something about my posture, and I got a really fruity run. Literally no way to delete the character or restart from what I built in the creator. I'm not even sure if this will let me fix posture. This should not be a DLC. These are the character version of it, right? So there are people that will spend hours upon hours just in a character creation alone, and then you get into the game and you go, oh crap, I messed this up, let's reverse that. Oh, I can't reverse it? Why can't I reverse this? Oh, because it's on server side. It's not on your computer. It's really, really scummy to go that route. This should be a free feature. Yeah, it should be. Why the F is this even a thing? There is no reason why your gatekeeping character resets behind this. They paywalling your character reset, which you can't even delete the character once it's created. They've put you into a trap here. Apparently, though, they are supposed to be coming out with a version of the game, once again, where it will turn around and reverse all of these. This is in response to everyone. This is Capcom coming up. To all the Dragon Dogma 2 players, we would like to update you on the status on the following items, about which we have received numerous comments from the community. To all those that are looking forward to this game, we sincerely apologize for any inconvenience. Crashes and bug fixes. We investigate critical problems such as crashes and freezing. We will be addressing crashes and bug fixes, starting from those from the highest priority in the patches to the near future. How about you just get rid of a Devono, and then you can easily work on these things, and it will probably solve a lot of the issues. The option of starting a new game. We are looking at adding a feature to the Steam version of the game that will allow players that are already playing to restart the game. We will announce more details as soon as we can. How is this not something that you add in at the beginning of these games? How can you not have this at the very start where someone wants to re-roll a character? That's absolutely abysmal to hear that they're not doing that. Pay DLC. These are all DLCs. They're not items. They're not items. They're DLCs. All the items listed before and below can be obtained in-game or pay DLC items. First off, a DLC is added content to a game. A DLC is not consumable items that you use in a game as a microtransaction. Let's split that apart first off. These are not DLCs. All the items listed below, yeah. The Art of Metamorphosis, the character editor. The character editor. Oblivion Rift Incense, change pawn inclinations. Portal Crystal, Warp Location Maker. So it's like Diablo where you have a portal maker for fast travels. Now you need this crystal in order to fast travel, and they put it behind a paywall. Wakestone, restore the dead to life. 500 crystal rifts, 1,500 rift crystals, 2,500 rift crystals. Points to spend beyond the rift. So these are all things. It's like Diablo in that sense. At least Diablo was a multiplayer game. So if you wanted to do things with your friends, that's what you did. Makeshift Gao key. Escape from Gao, which is their jail. If you get your character thrown in jail and you want to escape, you have an option to pay for it. They've monopolized everything in this game. They've turned it into a board game of Monopoly that is now a video game. That all intents and purposes. Harpy snare smoke beacons, harpy lure item. This is, I guess you need to kill harpies. Regarding frame rate, a large amount of CPU usage is allocated to each character and calculating the impact of their physical presence in various areas. In certain areas where numerous characters appear simultaneously, the CPU usage can be very high and may affect the frame rate. Get rid of Devono and that'll go away. We are aware that in such situations, settings that reduce GPU graphics load may currently have a limited effect. However, we are looking into ways to improve performance in the future. Well, once again, get rid of Devono and this will increase performance. Dragon's Dogma team. And then they have a discussion here. So they've got a lot of people. Yeah, microtransaction, single player game, full price. Pay for fast travel or character. Poor performance, Devono. Shame, shame, shame. And that's pretty much where it is. Fast travel is boring unless it's a paid DLC. Like, it's absolutely ridiculous. In some cases, when you create a giant map and you don't have a fast travel system, it makes it a daunting task to run across the map to do these things. And you want to be able to experience and get the experience done with these games. It's absolutely abysmal to see that this game has gone this method. I was looking forward to this, so were many others, and it's absolutely crazy that it's now at this state. Have yourselves a great day. I'm your Proud King Phoenix, Cindershadow. I'm signing off here. Don't forget to like and subscribe.